Welcome back to the garden on this very wet day, and one plant that really does like the moisture, humidity and the rain is the tree fern Dicksonia antarctica. And this winter so far has been overall pretty mild, and it's meant that most of pretty much all the tree ferns in the garden have kept their green leaves, and the protection I'm using in the middle is straw. And in this video I'm just going to talk about why I use straw on tree ferns rather than fleece or any other materials. And basically I use straw because it sort of mimics the natural sort of protection that they get to keep moisture in the centre. Because obviously in the wild they're in the shade quite often, and they're under trees where leaves fall down from the trees into the centre, the crowns of the tree ferns. And over time that breaks down and nutrients are released, and that's one way the tree fern gets some nutrients into the crown and down the plant. And also it does give a bit of extra humidity on the drier occasions in summer if you've got the leaves in there, because it holds on to the moisture a little bit better. And using that sort of adaptation or that allowance of moisture around the top of the tree fern to use straw in winter as protection, because it doesn't mind having sort of moisture at the top of the plant, the crown as we call it, where the new leaves will unfurl the following year. So it's winter now, we're in the very end of January 2020, and the straw's been there since I think it was November time, early December, and that straw has remained there, and it's quite wet and soggy now. I've had lots and lots of rain and that straw's been there. It doesn't affect the tree fern whatsoever. It doesn't cause the crown to rot in my experience. I've been doing this for over 10 years now. But the straw does give just that bit of protection from any sort of penetrating frost that we might get, although it's been so mild in the last few weeks and months that I don't think it's going to have either needed the straw really. We did get some frost back in November, and I think even in October, which was unexpected, but the straw really helps when you get those deep penetrating frosts, because it stops the ice forming really far down and damaging the new emerging, dormant buds for next year's leaves that grow. And you can use fleece. A lot of people do use fleece, but that, if you put that in there, it stays really dry. And that's great for insulating the plant. It's really good for insulating the plant, but it means that it's very dry at the top there. There's no moisture getting in, and you do need some moisture even in winter for these plants. Now, it will uptake lots of moisture because it's been in the ground for several years now, so capillary action and the roots in the ground mean that water will be drawn up the trunk of the tree fern and keep the plant nice and hydrated even in winter without any watering, because I don't water this at all in winter because it's nice and established. If it was potted I would water it. But back to using straw, some people think it will cause rot, but I have not found that to be the case. You will find woodlice, whether or not you use straw in the crowns from time to time of tree ferns. They just feed mainly on the dead detritus, the dead rotting leaves, but they sometimes can go for the emerging foliage. Just be careful if you do see some woodlice, it's good to take them out. Now if I just get in here and have a look, if I remove the straw, if you look at the straw, actually, take that off, it's actually pretty dryish. It's got some moisture in it, but it's not absolutely sopping wet at the base, which is ideal. So it just holds that bit of moisture there, and obviously in spring I'll remove the straw and the new leaves will unfurl. So straw, it gives that protection from the frost, stops any ice penetrating and getting into the plant, and it means that next year and every year you get a nice flush of growth in spring.